This is a major political realignment. Wayne, is this one of the biggest realignments in your historical research that we've seen since the founding of the Republic?
Well, Alex, I've actually never seen a convention like this where you've got the only previous GOP nominee for president, Bob Dole, was here. All the others are boycotting. John McCain, Mitt Romney, none of the Bushes are here. But as you know from your flight here, the Bushes have their surrogate here working behind the scenes, and that's Karl Rove. And I talked to a former Republican congressman last night from Ohio, and it was his feeling that Rove is here to basically be the Bush henchman here to see what he can possibly do to disrupt the convention for Trump. And
so there's a good chance that Rove is behind some of this attempt to embarrass Trump.
He may be. The issue with you've got rumors that Mitt Romney's in town too, although nobody's seen him. We know Kasich's here, as you know. Rove is here. So yeah, there is some.
Well, that's extremely shameful. That's extremely shameful. I want to come back to you after the break, but real quick, Rob, do you had a question or point?
Well, I just want to confirm what Wayne Madsen was just saying. The delegate I talked to from California last night said it was all Cruz states and Marco Rubio people getting together in one side of the convention floor. They were all colluding, and he was witnessing this happening. And when they called for that roll call, he actually stood up and said something to the chair at that point, saying, no, we should not allow this. And that's when they
look, at this point, those are Hillary operatives in the convention trying to spoil the will of popular voters. This is election fraud that we're watching here, okay?
And that video is up. You can watch the whole interview. It's on the Alex Jones channel. It's called California Delegate Exposes How Never Trump is Going to Fail, because he basically said, Trump's got it in the bag. They will not be able to steal it from him. But we'll see. We still have to maintain vigilance at this point.
Well,
because they're
bare minimum trying to embarrass him, aren't they, Wayne?
I'm sorry?
They're bare minimum trying to embarrass Trump.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, the issue with this convention so far has been we haven't even seen a schedule with timed events. We first saw the first schedule with any times given, what came out yesterday. But unlike many other conventions where you got people slotted in certain times, we haven't seen that. So there's a lot of play going on at this convention. And we see a lot of to-be-determined speakers still on the list.
That's right. Unprecedented. Let's talk about the other intel you've gleaned the last few days inside the convention center. We're day two. We're right above the convention center, broadcasting live. Wayne Madsen and our crew is inside. We've got crew on the streets out there talking to the BLM groups and other Soros-funded trash. It's all coming up straight ahead. And we've got a religion of peace jihadi killing people with an axe in Germany. And we're hearing now it's the Germans' fault. Stay with us. Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. We've got the Republican establishment, the Bushes, Glenn Beck, Ted Cruz trying to sabotage the people's popular vote. Stop Donald Trump. I mean, my God, that's incredible. And we've got the people really waking up. But coming up, I got a short interview with Dinesh D'Souza that Leanne McAdoo did last night. And then we've also got D'Souza coming on tomorrow. We've got Ted Nugent, a lot more. And we're going to be talking to Leanne McAdoo and Margaret Howell out on the street that are interviewing folks. Joe Biggs is also going to the convention center. I'm going to be in there later tonight and, of course, tomorrow when they attempt this big walkout. And I also saw two guys wearing new Black Panther Party shirts. They saw me looking out the window. I stopped at a red light, jumped out, and actually ran the building away from me. I just want to go talk to them and say, hey, you know George Soros is funding all this, try to cause a war in this country that's not going to help anybody. So I'm going to go out and talk to some of those folks if I'm able to. We are on the lookout. We are on the hunt, as they say. Rob News here with News Director. He's going to be in Philadelphia with David Nye and others. But right now, let's go back to Wayne Madsen on the floor. What else have you gleaned, Wayne, and what else are you looking to happen? What's the next shoe to drop?
Well, tonight we'll actually see the Republican establishment on stage, scheduled to speak as the ex officio chairman of the convention, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan. And also speaking will be the Senate Majority Leader, Senator Mitch McConnell. So it'll be very interesting because neither one of them have given what I would call full-throated endorsements of Donald Trump. So it'll be very interesting to see what they have to say tonight when they are up there on this podium behind me. We also have some members of the Trump family, Donald Trump Jr. scheduled to speak, and there'll be some other Republican politicians on stage. But unlike past conventions, Republican conventions, in this case, we don't see a lot of the big office holders. There is a few here. Scott Walker is scheduled to speak here. The governor of Wisconsin.
Isn't that for you an endorsement of Trump? I mean, I know you've kind of dodged this twice, and I'm not mad that you have, but just as a private citizen, I mean, what is your view of Trump?
Well, I think he's on many issues. He's the anti-neocon, for one thing. On foreign policy, he's their worst nightmare. He wants to patch up our relations with Russia, which the neocons are dead set against. He's against these trade agreements. He thinks that we should have left Saddam Hussein in power in Iraq, and thinks it's awful that we're trying to overthrow Assad in Syria because he sees them as stabilizing influences. So I see a lot of people who have voted Democratic in the past taking a close look at Donald Trump because foreign policy issues, trade issues, bringing manufacturing jobs back to the United States. And you can just walk a few blocks from this convention center and you see empty factories. Cleveland was once a huge manufacturing city, and that's all been lost. Although I got to admit, they've done a pretty good job at refurbishing the center city here in Cleveland.
Yeah, they made the downtown look better, but you go outside of here, it looks like a war zone, but a lot of great people here, and we can rebuild this country. What do you think happens if he does lose? How do they put this political dead duck Hillary in power? If she doesn't go for full dictatorial power, she's going to be removed pretty quickly.
Well, I believe what we're seeing with Kasich in town and the rumored presence of Mitt Romney and people like Rove, I think they're looking at 2020. They want to try to get this party back under their control. They're going through. Remember, after the last election, they did this post-mortem, this autopsy on the Republican Party, and then their worst nightmare occurred because they lost total control over the party with the nomination of an outsider. They're going to try for 2020 to get it back under the control of the insiders, and I think that's what they're meeting probably in one of these hotel suites downtown, planning really for 2020. I believe that these Republicans are already conceding the November election to Hillary Clinton.
Wow, and then working with Beck and everybody else to make sure that happens as loyal opposition for the Democrats inside. And so that lets us know if Trump gets elected, the battle just begins, because we'll have the Democrats and Republican establishment trying to sabotage him at every turn. So we can't just get him in office and then leave him there. We've got to support him.
That's right. I mean, it's. I think the one thing with the schedule being so fluid, normally those schedules are hammered out way in advance because people, are traveling and whatnot.
So what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? What does that signify?
It means that this is the most unorganized convention that I've covered and I've seen in recent times. Maybe you'd have to go back to the 1800s.
In a way, that's how the first ones were, and that's what freedom looks like. It's not just some top-down centralized system. I know you're filing more reports. You're doing a great job. So Wayne Madsen of WayneMadsenReport.com, works with Infowars.com. Thanks for being a correspondent for us. We'll be back with our folks on the street. Stay with us. Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. we're here. Then returning weeknights, 7 o'clock Central, Infowars Nightly News. And then, of course, Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. Central, the live Sunday broadcast. I'm your host, Alex Jones, coming to you from deep in the heart of Cleveland, Ohio, site of the 2016 Republican National Convention. Back at the home base in Austin, Texas, we have David Knight and the rest of the great crew making this all possible. But I've got 9 or 10 people here in our crew. I guess more than that, actually, about 11. And so we've got a full court press here with our operation. We've been dominating coverage. Hundreds of newspapers, hundreds of TV stations, all over national news, promoting liberty, warning people about globalism, showing that if somebody just gives the New World Order a stand-up fight, we kick their butts. Very, very exciting time to be alive right now. Looking at this, it really shows that you can only have a globalist takeover, a multinational corporate takeover of your country, when the people aren't aware of what's happening. That's why you've got to control the media. And the globalist mainstream media was arrogant when the internet first came into being. They thought it would be a tool of surveillance, a tool of control. They thought that they could basically dominate it, but it's shown the genie's out of the bottle. Now they've hit the panic button. They admit, we're going to have Joe Biggs on a little while with us, they admit that they're having major, major problems. and that everything's unraveling. So now they want censorship. Now they want control. Now they want to be able to just basically shut us down. It doesn't work to call us racist and all this garbage. And that's why it's more important than ever. I haven't even plugged yet any of the products or things that fund this operation. First off, I want to thank you for being supporters. I want to let you know that we give you the very best products, the very lowest prices we possibly can. And I want to encourage you from the bottom of my heart to continue to spread the word. It's really having a big effect. History's happening. And to take advantage of the nutraceuticals, whether it be Lung Cleanse or Brain Force or DNA Force, or Super Male Vitality, or Child Ease, or any of these amazing products, check them out. They've changed my life. Just our sleep formula is an example of our philosophy. It's 9 different ingredients. Just this dose of melatonin on average is $15 to $19 a bottle of the same dose, same quality. Ours is $19.95. It has the same regular dose of melatonin. Then it has L-tryptophan. Then it has valerian root, chamomile. It goes on and on. To get this, it'd be $50 at a discount store for all these different compounds in one big pill. Safe, healthy, relaxing sleep. It's amazing. InfoWarsLife.com, $19.95. We're running 25% off on DNA Force. That will end today because it's going to sell out. And so that will end by tomorrow because I have to hold back some bottles for folks that sign up for auto ship. They get 10% off. So we always have to hold some back for folks that are already signed up for auto ship or those that may. It'll be about a month till we get more DNA Force in. It's 25% off. It's the top nutraceutical out there, proven to have growth, nerve growth factor. I mean, just stuff, telomeres, you name it. DNA Force is amazing. Take advantage of that. I want to thank you all for your support. Hillary for Prison shirts are $19.95. We've been selling them as low as $5 because I want to get tens of thousands of them out there. There's like 80,000 of them now out there or something. They're all over the country. It's one of the top memes in the nation. But at $19.95, we can take all the proceeds and pay for aircraft in the skies. You've seen that be national news. You've seen that be the top meme in the country. It's amazing. We're leading the way on how to resist. We're ragtag. We're cross-eyed and exhausted half the time, but we've got the passion. We're going over the top. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site. InfoWarsLife.com is the nutraceuticals. You can also call toll-free in order or ask any questions or ask about different discounts. There's a lot of other ones I don't have time to mention. 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. We're also going to be going out to the Black Panther meetings and more. I'm going to be there. Others are. We're not playing games. We're going to go expose what George Soros is financing and is running. And if a Klan rally pops up, we're going to go cover that as well, though I haven't heard of one of those. But birds of a feather, federal minions, tend to fly together. Joe Biggs was about to go into the convention center. We saw him down there, and I said, I know he's got something to cover, but I'm going to go to some of the protests here in a little while. I thought Biggs might want to be with us, but he can choose what he wants to do. We're going to Leanne McAdoo, and, of course, our other great edition reporter, and that's, of course, Margaret Howell. But first, Joe, what have you seen today so far, and what's going on inside the convention center?
I mean, as you can see, the police have pretty much built this entire wall around this center and kept a lot of people back. There's smaller pockets of protests happening, but I think today is going to be one of the largest ones. Cornel West is going to be speaking at 4 p.m. with Carl Dix, the co-founder of the Revolutionary Communist Party, along with the Huey P. Newton Gun Club and the new Black Panther Party.
That's at 4 today.
That's at 4 o'clock at the public square down here.
And we're going. We need all the patriots to be there. We're peaceful. We're just coming to cover it. We're coming to talk to them and interview them and hopefully talk some sense into them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see this large amount of people, these different diverse groups coming together right here with the amount of police. The nerves are high, the intensity, the helicopters are flying everywhere. I just spoke with one of our guys out on the ground that works closely with the Cleveland Police Department. He's working on trying to get me in one of these police choppers to fly around and get some aerial footage as well today. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything pans out. But I guarantee you by Thursday is going to be that day where it really gets hot and heavy. People are going to be angry. They've been out in the sun every day. Whatever we find out happens at the end of this week with the RNC convention and all that, I think Thursday is going to be our big day.
What did you expect coming in, and what have you experienced since you've been here?
I expected just complete and total chaos. But once you get here and actually see how they've barricaded this place in and really done a good job at keeping these people out and not letting them get close to the area, not to bother the delegates trying to go in and out, not really screwing around with people. Cleveland didn't play any games. I mean, they brought in police from all over the country, and it's definitely helping out. But it's definitely